Now, the next feature that we're going to take a look at here inside of Microsoft Word is called Word Mail Merge. And this is perhaps one of the most robust and dynamic and featureful feature of Microsoft Word. Very, very powerful. Essentially, the Mail Merge feature will allow you to merge a new Word document or an existing Word document with outside data. For example, I want to create mailing labels. Well, Word really allows me to format the mailing labels and lay them out. But that's really Word's job, that's just it. Formatting and laying the labels out. Where's the data come from that you're going to put into those labels? Well, it can come from a number of different sources. In the example I'm going to give you here, I have an Excel document. This Excel document is going to act as my mail merge data source. And it's a simple list, just a few columns wide and a few records tall, but it's got the name of the contact or the customer, their address, and their phone number. So I want to take all this data here and import it or merge it into Word and use its data as my mailing label source. Or perhaps you want to create a form letter. I want to print out a letter for all my employees or all my customers. It's really the same exact letter that everybody's going to get. The only difference is it'll have their name in it and their address and their phone number and whatever other information we need. But we create the letter, kind of a template, and then we merge it with an outside data source to fill in the specifics that make the letter unique for each person. Now, that's really the mail merge feature, and it's really slick and very, very powerful. There's a few steps that we got to go through in order to create these mailing labels or form letters or email letters or whatever it is we're creating. So I'm going to walk you through that. These next few videos, I'm going to introduce you to creating mailing labels and creating a form letter. And we're going to use this Excel document right here. So first step, before you go to the next videos, make sure you download the file called Customer Info Mail Merge. It's a .xlsx file, Excel file. Download it. We're going to use that as our data source. So get ready to take advantage of one of the more powerful features within Microsoft Word, Word's Mail Merge. I want to mention just a few things about Microsoft Word's Mail Merge data source. Take a look here. Open in front of you, I just got a blank document just to demonstrate the different types of data sources that you could potentially use within your mailing labels or form letters and so on. So up inside of Word, we'll go to the Mailings tab. You're going to find a section called Start Mail Merge, and there's an option for Select Recipients. Essentially, where you're going to get the data from if you're going to create your mailing labels or form letters and so on. Your actual data. Customer names, employee names, addresses, whatever it is that you need. You're going to find underneath selected recipients, you've got three options on how you can get your data. You can create a new list. This would allow you to create it on the fly. And I want to be able to send it off to a group of my customers. Well, perhaps I don't have the customer information stored electronically. Maybe I've got it written down on a piece of paper, and now I need to take that data and put it electronically so I can use it within my mail merge. That will allow you to create a brand new list on the fly. You got using existing lists. That's what I'm going to use here. I've got an Excel document that perhaps you downloaded in the prior video. It's got headers along the top. Very important that those headers are there. Contact name, address, city, whatever headers you have, but you got headers as the first row, and then you got all your rows of records down below. This is my data source. Now there's one more option that you have from an Outlook contact list. So if you use Microsoft Outlook as your email tool, you probably use contacts, where you store things like people's names, their email address, maybe even their physical address, their phone number, and so on. We could hook up Word to Outlook, get the data from there, and create your mailing labels and form letters. Use Outlook's contact list as your data source. So three options. Brand new list on the fly, type it out on your own, use something like Excel, an existing list, or use Outlook's contact list. Okay? So this is just kind of quick FYI. We're going to use that Excel document I just showed you a moment ago. That's going to be our data source. Column headers along the top, rows of records down below. Now we're going to merge it with Microsoft Word. Let's take a look at it. So we're going to start with the most common reason people get into Microsoft Word's mail merge, creating mailing labels. This is a really simple process. When people first get into mail merge within Word, they get kind of nervous and kind of stand back away from it, thinking, oh, this is going to be hard to do. It's actually not very hard to do. It's actually quite simple. We're going to go through what's called the Mail Merge Wizard, and it's step by step. 6 little steps. It's going to help you take data from some other source, such as Excel, and import it into Microsoft Word document to do something with it. In this case, create mailing labels. Take a look. So first step, I've got my document open, just a brand new document. I just went File, New, Blank Document, and that's what I got in front of you right now. So next step, I'm going to go to Mailings. I'm going to go over here to Start Mail Merge. Now, there's a handful of different types of mail merges and a handful of different ways to start those mail merges. For our example, I'm going to take you through perhaps the most efficient, quickest way to be able to create mailing labels. I'll go to Start Mail Merge, and I'm going to go down to the step-by-step Mail Merge Wizard. 6 little steps. Word's going to do most of the work with a little bit of input from you. So I'll do step by step. This opens up a little panel here on the right-hand side. You can see that I've got step 1 of 6. I got 6 little steps. So first step just wants to know, well, what type of mail merge are you creating? Whether it's a letter, email messages, envelopes, and so on. I'm going to do labels. I want to create mailing labels. That's the first step. That's it. I'm going to go down and go to next, start the document. Now it wants to know, well, what's your starting point? Are you starting with an existing document? Or are you going to change what you have? Well, I'm going to change what I have, so I'm going to do change document layout. If you had a template, you could say start from existing, and then you can go find your little template. Maybe the margins are already changed, you already got a header, footer, whatever you wanted on this thing. You got a little template that you want to use. Not in this case. I'm just going to change the current document's layout. Now, I'm creating mailing labels. There are many different types of labels that you can print out on the market. Avery, there's a manufacturer or a vendor that creates these mailing labels called Avery. Where I live, they're perhaps one of the most common vendor types for labels, although there's lots of them. You run down to the store, you go look for mailing labels, you're going to find several different types. Well, in order for my mailing labels to fit on my paper and to print out properly when I send it to the printer and feed the labels through the printer, I need to let Word know what type of labels I'm using. So I'm going to do label options. Here, I get to pick my label vendor, who creates them. I'm going to stick with Avery US letter, although you got so many in there. But I'll stick with Avery US label. Down below, you get the different products that Avery puts out. So there's one that I'm going to use. The product code is 5160. It's Easy Peel address label. I can see over here that it's 1 inch high by 2.63 inches on a standard 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Sounds good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. Now that actually changed the layout on my page. You could look over here. I've actually got a table here, and it's really narrow margins. But you've got the 1 inch high label by 2.63 width. And you got 1, 2, 3 labels across, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 labels high. Okay? But it built a little table where all that data will go for the different bits of data or records from your data source. All right, let me go back to the first part. So that's step 2, right? So now I'm going to go to step 3, select the recipients. Or essentially, I'm going to tell Excel where I'm getting my data from to create these labels. So I got 3 options. I can use an existing list, which is what I'm going to use, that Excel document. You could use Outlook, or you can type up a brand new list of your own. Well, I'm going to go ahead and browse, because I'm going to go find that Excel document that I have on my computer. It is called customer info -mail merge. It's a .xlsx file. It's an Excel file. If you haven't done it already, go back a couple previous videos, the first video of this section, and download that file if you wish to practice along with me. So I'll grab that, I'll hit open. Now this is going to give me another window where I can, because this is an Excel document, I can pick from potentially different sources. Now this Excel document only has one table, one worksheet, so that's it. With that selected, I'll confirm that my first row does contain column headers, contact name, address, city, postal code, phone number, that stuff. I'll hit OK. Now it previews my data so I can see all of it right there. Also gives me the option to sort my records or even filter my records. Perhaps I don't want to send labels or these letters that I'm going to be printing out to everybody. I just want to do it for a specific country or countries. Then I can filter and sort my data right here. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it for everybody. So I'll hit OK. And I've now completed step 3, selecting my recipients, my data source. Now let's make a few changes to my document. The first cell of the table is currently empty, but they put in these fields, these dynamic fields called next record. Put it throughout all the rest of the cells within the table. And all this really tells Microsoft Word is, hey, once you put data in here, when you get over to this cell, go to the next record in the data source and put that data in. When you get to the third record, put the next record data into there, and so on. Just moving from record to record to record through my Excel document. All right, that's step 3. So now, next step, I get to arrange my labels. Essentially, tell it what data I want to have show up inside of these cells. Now over here on the right, they've got some default presets that I can pick from, such as address block. Or I can go up to my mailings tab, top of my screen, and I can do insert merge field. Give that a click. This is going to give me all the fields that the Excel document contain, all the bits of data that's in there, and I can lay it out any way I want. The address block is nice because it's predefined and quick and easy to do, but it's limited because it's already defined for you. If you want to lay it out yourself, I can do something like this. Make sure I'm in the first cell, insert mail merge. Let's say I want the first thing to show up is the person's name. So I'll do contact name. I'll hit my enter key. Next I want to do address, hit my enter key. Then I'll do city. I want to put a comma and a space in there. Then I'll do postal code, hit my enter key. I'm going to put country at the very bottom. There we have it. I've started to build my labels, lay them out, arrange my labels. Now something I'm not liking here, and it's probably better if I go up to mailings and preview the results. You can see country, because that label is only 1 inch high, it's starting to cut off the country. I'm not able to see that there. So what I'm going to do here, I'll go ahead and turn off the preview. I'm going to highlight those controls, those fields I just put in there, and I'm going to change the line spacing. I'm going to narrow that line spacing down so that everything fits on the one label. With that highlighted, I'll go to home. I'm going to go into my paragraph settings here. And I'm going to change the before and after spacing to just zeros. 0, and I'll hit OK. So now it's much tighter in there. Everything's going to fit on there. If I go back to mailings and preview, you can see it's nice and it fits inside that 1 inch high label that I got. Let's turn off the preview once again. Now I've arranged my labels. This is really what this step's all about. Now you'll notice when I did preview the records, I got the 1, but I'm not getting all the rest of the records in there. Well, there's one more step. There's a button here for update labels. Essentially, take what you just customized and update all the rest of the labels, the rest of the columns and rows that table has. So I hit the update labels button, and now I've got all my records in there, nice and clean. Looks like they all fit there. That one's getting pretty close to the edge, but they fit within that 1 inch by 2.63 label that standard US Avery labels gave me. I'll turn off the preview. You can see it's filled it out everywhere else for me. That's step 4. Just arrange your labels. Put what you want out there. I'll go ahead and get down here. I'll go to the next step, which is just really preview, which we've already done. I previewed it there. Now, last step, I'm going to next to complete the merge. Now it's going to give me a couple options. I can merge it at the printer, so send it right to the printer, print out the mailing labels, or I can edit individual labels. I could do it to the printer, but you're not going to see much. So I'm just going to go ahead and say edit individual labels. I'm going to do all. I'm going to merge every single record into this document. This just creates a brand new document for me. It's called Labels 1. And it's got all my labels in there. And I can do whatever I want with it. I can continue formatting. I can arrange it, change margins. Don't really probably want to change margins though because these are labels. But I could do what I like with this document now. And I can send it to the printer. Save it on my computer and call it done. Really simple. Really not too difficult to do. Mailings. Start mail merge. Step by step. Go through 6 steps. Create your mailing labels. It's that simple. Try it out. If you need to, this is a little bit of a longer video. Rewind, rewatch segments of it. Go back through. Get some practice with it. Make sure you go through those 6 steps and you're getting a solid understanding as to what each of those 6 steps do for you. So try it out. We're going to take a look at another use of the mail merge feature found here within Microsoft Word. We just took a look at creating mailing labels, going through that step-by-step mail merge wizard. 6 little steps, create your mailing labels. We're going to take a look at creating form letters in this next exercise. And this is another really simple process. It's actually the same wizard that you're going to go through with some slight differences, but nothing big. This should feel very similar to the exercise we just went through. Now, the idea of a form letter, I create a little template, something like what I have open in front of you right now. You can download this exact letter from this video. It's called number 17 mail merge form letter. Make sure you download that. That's what I'm going to use here. But it's got some standard verbiage in here, just kind of some template stuff. Dear nobody in this point, we're writing to inform you that the following address has been added to your record. Okay? No address currently in there. If we need to follow up with you regarding your account, we have this number on record. No number in there currently, and thank you. So I'm going to send this out to hundreds of clients. But I need to plug in each specific client's information. Dear John, Dear Jane, right? Their address, their phone number. Put that stuff in here. Well, I don't want to do that by hand. Hundreds or thousands of customers. No way, right? I want to save myself some time. I want to take my lunch break. I want to go home on time. Let's get the mail merge to hook up to that Excel document and plug that data in here for us. Check it out. So I'm going to start out up there next to Dear. But I'm going to go to my Mailings tab, back to Start a Mail Merge, and I'm going to do the step-by-step mail merge once again. All right. Now this time I'm going to create a letter. Already there. Hit Next. I'm going to start with the current document. This document I have open. So all good there. First 2 steps. What a breeze. Creating a letter using the existing document I have open. Now the third step, we get to go browse for the Excel document again. Remember that? Same thing. I'll go find that Excel document. Let's see, Microsoft. We got Word exercises. I'm using the same one, customer info mail merge. It's available to download in the first video of this section. All right. Only got one worksheet in there, one table. The first row does contain column headers, so I'll hit Next or hit OK. All right, there's my data. I'm going to send it out to everybody. I'm not going to sort it. All looks good. I'll hit OK. All right, first 3 steps out of the way. Now, next step, I can write the letter. Now, I've already got the bulk of the letter here, but now I want to start plugging in the little bits of data that are available to me from that Excel document. The customer's name, their address, and their phone number. All right, so I'm going to click up here next to Dear. I'm going to go to Mailing, Insert Merge Fields. I'm going to insert the contact name. There we go. I'm going to drop down here, and I'm going to put their address in there. I'm going to format it nice and clean. We'll put the city, comma, space, postal code. And I'll put the country down here at the bottom. And then for their phone number, I'll come over here and I'll drop in their phone number. There we have it. All right, so now I've got these controls or these fields that are picking up from that Excel document, creating a nice dynamic letter. If I go preview this, all right, Dear Maria Anders. There's Maria's address. There's the phone number. I can go from record to record here. Let's just hit Next. There's Anna, Antonio, Thomas, Christina, and so on. Got all the records in there. Let's see, I can't remember how many in there. I think there's a couple hundred. Got 38 up there. Helen Bennett lives in the UK. There's the phone number. This is all step 4. You're now just plugging in the fields into the letter. So now I'll go to the next step. You could preview it. We've really already done that, so this step's kind of unnecessary to us right now because you get the preview button up there. And I'll complete the merge. Once again, just like labels, you can send it out to the printer, or you can edit them individually, individual letters. Let's go ahead and edit individual. I'll do all of them. Now this might take some time depending on how many records you have in there, but there's my first page. You can see that it's actually counting down over here. Now it says I got 8 pages there. Maria Anders, let's go ahead and scroll through. 91, I guess there's 91 records in there. There's page 3, Antonio, Thomas, same exact letter, right? But just all the different customers and so on. Pretty slick. How quick was that? It beats doing it by hand, having to retype all that stuff, copy, paste. Use the mail merge. You got the data source, whether it's in Excel or Outlook or some other source, hook it up to Word, perform a mail merge, and plug the data into your nice little form letter. So try this out. Very slick, very powerful. One of my favorite features inside of Word, mail merge. Try them both. If you haven't done the label yet, do the labels, and then try out the form letter.